ushindi kwa ukombozi wetu. Tujitoe wenyewe, tusimame pamoja kulinda uhuru na umoja wetu. Enyi Bwana na binti wa Afrika, mwili wa jua, mwili wa anga, tuifanye Afrika mti wa uzima.
Family, welcome to Humanist TV Africa. The name is Kwame Apidi Danka, and today we are going to talk about an interesting topic, which brings, what should I say, which makes people think about themselves again. I'm talking about tribalism. I'm talking about the trends of the Ghanaian dirty tribal sentiments on our social media, and recently. There are so many things going on our social media, especially right here in Ghana. People throwing tantrums, tirades to other people of different ethnicity, different tribe, and also from different places. So this is what is basically happening here in Ghana. The name is Kwame Abidanka, and I would love and I would like you to share to all your social media accounts this very video. Share to all your social media accounts, and also subscribe to Humanist TV Africa. Subscribe to Humanist TV Africa. Yeah. To start with, what is tribalism? What exactly is tribalism? Tribalism, basically, tribalism stands for the act of seeking the welfare of a particular group of people who have a certain culture in a definite place with usually with a ruler who thinks they come from a particular place with family ties and with blood lineage. And basically that is what tribalism is. And we have ethnicity. You know, ethnicity is far more bigger than tribalism, and tribalism is a subgroup of ethnicity. But tribalism, that word tribalism, that word is not a bad word. If I can tell you, if I can continue to say that tribalism is not a bad word, the etymology of the word tribalism, but what is behind it, what are people doing with tribalism that makes tribalism bad? What people usually do with tribalism, this is what makes tribalism bad. So there is this culture of people putting camera on them on social media and insulting other people of different tribes, of other tribes, especially here in Ghana. And we'll go deep into that. And Ghana, basically, we have over 15 different tribes, but basically people usually talk about the 8 main tribes or ethnicity here in Ghana. And to tell you something, those people who have been fighting about tribes, people who have been fighting about tribes, people have been fighting about tribes, and they don't know they are of the same family. Let's take the Akans as a case study. The Akans are the major ethnic group right here in Ghana, and they are made up of the Ashantis, the Bonos, the AKYEM, the KWAHU, the KWAHU, the FANTIs, and many more. The Akans believe they migrated from the olden day Ghana Empire, and they settled right here in Ghana, and other ethnic groups also followed. And history tells us that the only remaining ethnic group in which the Akans came into contact with here in Ghana were the GUANS. The GUANS, the modern day GUANS are GONJA. If you go to like AKYEM in the eastern region, right now they are part of the AKYEM heritage, but they are also GUANS. And the Akans came to meet them here. And Akans, when they came to settle at Bono Manso. Bono Manso can be found in the Bono region of Ghana, the Bono regions of Ghana. So basically, what is wrong with me saying tribalism is very rampant here in Ghana? There's nothing wrong because people are doing it in the wrong manner. People are throwing tribal tantrums in the wrong manner, and we will show you the history behind all these tribal tirades, which are usually bombarded to the general Ghanaians or to the general public. To start with, I will start with, it's not only Ghana that this thing has that has afflicted us. If you come to sub-Saharan Africa, almost all the countries in sub-Saharan Africa are somehow, somehow be embedded with this menace of tribalism. So what am I saying? Let's take, I talked about Africa, so let's take Ethiopia for example. Ethiopia is being there are numerous of ethnicity and tribal lines or tribal heritages in Ethiopia. Ethiopia is the one of the oldest countries here in Africa. I think they weren't even colonized by the Italians. The Italians couldn't colonize them. Many other people have tried to colonize Ethiopia since time immemorial, but they couldn't. But right now, the people in Ethiopia think they have been colonized internally by the Amhara people. The Amhara people are 15% of the population of Ethiopians, whilst the Oromo are 60%. The Oromo people are 60% of Ethiopians, but it is the Amhara people who are in the parliament, who are in the political office, who are taking care of basically everything in Ethiopia. So other ethnic groups, especially the majority Oromo and the other ethnic groups, thinks they are being left out, and it is castigating on the progress of Ethiopia. Basically, you can see Ethiopia is having this internal civil tribal war in Ethiopia, which is not healthy to the progress of Ethiopia. Now, with that said, let's come back to Ghana and see why I am talking about this tribalism here in Ghana. You know, our political system were set by our colonialists, and even the term tribalism was to identify with the indigens of, let's say, the Gold Coast, the old Gold Coast. Right now, it is Ghana. Ghana used to be the Gold Coast. The states along the Gulf of Guinea, and also and later Ashanti and Western Ashanti were also added to the Gold Coast, and the Northern Protectorate were also added to the Gold Coast when the British finally colonized the whole country. So what I'm saying is, it is the British who set these systems of tribalism, and they made people with majority, people who have the majority of the people was thinking, yeah, then maybe we are majority, so we think we will have better opportunities than those who are of less majority or who are of minority. So this system was set up by the colonial fathers. And so basically, especially if you come down to the sub-Saharan Africa, when especially in the early 1950s, when especially Ghana was trying to gain independence and other African countries were also trying to gain independence, political party lines were also set within this tribal framework. So in Ghana, if you take the UGCC comprises of the people who were basically at the coast, who were being who have this foreign who were being educated. We will talk about the big sis, the JB Damquest, the AKYEM. We will talk about the park grants and the rest. So these political parties were set in order for in a certain definite position, basically the south of Ghana, and it was situated right in Accra. And if you go back and see the anatomy of the UGCC here in Ghana, it's comprises of people who were basically in Accra, in Eastern region, in Fantiland, and also at that time, Volta region wasn't yet part of the then Gold Coast or Ghana. So UGCC was set up, and then Nkrumah up from the UGCC also came to set up the CPP. Now there were other political parties called MPP, Muslims People Party, and we also have NPP, Northern People Party. So Muslim People Party was formed from a religious angle, and it was presumed to be the party for the Muslim people and also people from the northern descent. And also the Northern People Party was set up as a political unit for the people of the northern heritages of Ghana. So I hope I'm making myself clear, because this topic is really controversial. But why am I saying this? On our social media, especially on TikTok and YouTube, you see these so-called, let me say, stars, because right now people know them and people know them to be social media influencers. They will come on your screens, on the social media platform, and they will start raining insults to other people, especially to the chiefs. So you can see people from other ethnic groups insulting the Ashanti, people also from the Ashanti side insulting other people's chief. And what will this benefit we Ghanaians? Because in any situation, the main factor is who are the beneficiaries and what is the benefit we will derive from this tirade, this tug of war going on between the same group of people here in Ghana. Okay, so I'll be rolling the pictures. The pictures is to portray the cultures of Ghana, how we see Ghana. I'll come back to you. I'll come back to my story. But as I'm saying, please subscribe to Humanist TV Africa on Facebook, on YouTube, and please do share our program to all the platforms you also know. Please do share our programs to all the other platforms you know. So basically, this is the Volta region. The Volta region is in the eastern part of Ghana, and it is bordered by the Volta River. It is being bordered by the Volta River, and to the eastern part is the eastern part of Ghana, eastern region of Ghana, and the other side too is the Volta region. So basically, I'm trying to say there's this sort of tribalism here in Ghana. There's this sort of Ashantis not liking people from the Volta region, Ashantis not liking people from the northern part of our country, and even recently, Ashantis not liking people of their own kin. The bonus, the Fantis, and everybody. And there are also other factors, other people also trying to say the EWES doesn't like the Ashantis, the northern people hate the Ashantis, the people from the coastal areas, the GUANS, the Fantis also hate the Ashantis. And it is not only that. I've seen EWES and also Northerners changing words here and there, because the EWES think they are more important than the Northerners, and the Northerners think also they are more important than the EWES and also than the. So it's all about us, and the most important thing is the people of Ghana. The discussion is about the people of Ghana. You can see the picture of Tamale on your screen. Tamale is a very nice city here in Ghana. So what are we deriving from this program? We want to tell you the history of this tribal sentiment, and it didn't come today. Even we have families who doesn't allow people from different tribal origins or different ethnicity to marry their family members. We have parents trying to every extent to prevent their children, their girls, their sons from marrying people from a different tribe. So it is a very big problem, but this problem was created by our colonizers. we were about to be, Ghana was about to be in a, because the Ashantis, and the history is the Ashantis, the KWAHU, the KWAHUs, the FANTIs, the BONOS, the AKYEMs, and some of the NZIMAs, they are all Akans. The Dangerous, the AKYEMs, the BONOS, the Ahafos, they are all Akans, and they are one people. But because some of these, they are all Akans because they have these 8 matrilineal families in which every Akan must belong. So basically, if you are Akan, you are a family altogether, because the Ashantis, the Fantis, the AKYEMs, the KWAHU, the AKYEM all belong to these matrilineal Akan family. So basically, they are one people. They are one people from one ethnicity. Also, we have people like the EWES, as I said, who inhabit the mountainous place of our eastern corridors, bordering the Volta River. They are the EWES, and we have the GUANS. The GUANS are in Accra. They are centralized in Accra. And we have the FANTIs. The FANTIs can be found on our shores of the Gulf of Guinea, from TAKORADI, Cape Coast, to all the way to Kaswa. All of them are FANTIs. And if you come to the Middle Belt, let me show you them. If you come to the Middle Belt too, you will find the Akans also there. The Ashantis also there. You will find the Ashantis also there. So, and the BONOS also are in the Middle Belt of the country. So further up north, you find the DAGOMBAS, the SISSALAs, the Mankusis, the GONJAs, the MOSSIs, the FRAFRAs, the NANUMBAs, and we have so many tribal heritages here in Ghana. But why are we fighting among ourselves? It shouldn't be that way, because we are under one umbrella called Ghana. We are under one umbrella called Ghana. So I'm showing you the map of Ghana. As you can see, we have the Upper West. This is an old. Okay, we have the Upper West region, we have the Upper East region, we have the Northeast region, we have the Northern region, which the capital is Tamale, and they also have the Savannah regions. So basically, all these regions also have a different tribal groupings or heritages in them. So why should we fight? Why should we fight? The Akans are the major ethnic group here in Ghana. They constitute more than 25% of the people of Ghana, and the Akans also the Akans are usually centralized in the eastern regions of Ghana, as you can see from my map. Eastern region of Ghana, the central region of Ghana, the western region of Ghana, the western north region of Ghana, the Ahafo region, the Ashanti region, the Bron Ahafo region, and we have the Bunu East region, and even the Oti region. You have some of the Akans there. So I think I've made myself clear with the grouping. So why are these people fighting on social media? Why will someone come and insult a chief of a different tribe? And what will people gain from it? I think it is insecurity, because tribalism was created out of the necessities of insecurity. When our colonial masters created these tribal lands, because they were insecure, they wanted to divide and rule us. Although there were rampant wars during 400 years ago, 300 years ago, rampant wars all over the places, and people trying to dominate other people. But in segregating these people, the British made sure that we didn't trust ourselves. So up till today, you will see, let me use this example. You will see an Ashanti man trying to tell another man from maybe the Greater Accra region in Krani that the Ashantis are superior to them. Superior in what way? Superior in what way? So they are superior. In what way are they superior? I'm going to tell you the reason why someone even from Greater Accra might also think they are also superior than the Ashantis or than the Poros or than the people from the Volta region. And it all comes back to the politics, because our political leaders couldn't take out the tribal sentiments in which were the leftovers of the British administrations. They couldn't take the tribal sentiment out of it, and they created their political party line along these tribal lines. That is why so basically, especially when we gain the independence from the British, especially not only here in Ghana but all the other sub-Saharan countries, it started with one political party, and this political party trying to ban other political parties, because these other political parties trying to create tribal parties, and the ruling government thinks the national cohesion is on the part of this organization. So some of them declare themselves as a one party state. Let's take Kwame Nkrumah in the CPP, for example, because Kwame Nkrumah was feeling insecure because other people who he thought from other tribes were trying to overtake the power from the CPP, made the CPP the sole party or a one-man party state here in Ghana. And he thought bringing all Ghanaians under the CPP will stop this tribal agony. But it didn't stop there. There were coup d'etat after coup d'etat, and it not only happened here in Ghana, it also happened in other sub-Saharan countries, because a group of soldiers from a different ethnic group who thinks their people are being marginalized will take guns and do a coup d'etat and take the country by storm and rule the country. So it has been happening in Nigeria, it has been happening in Ghana, it has been happening in Sierra Leone, it has been happening in Cote d'Ivoire, it has been happening in Mali, and it has been happening all over Africa. So and what is the political institution doing about this tribalism? No, they are not trying to stop. They are not trying to stop any tribal issues here. They are just trying to you understand me? I'm having some small issues with my power here. I think I'll be able to finish this program. And the issue is, let's take the NPP and NDC. NPP right now, everybody knows that it is the party which is being dominated by the Akans. The NDC is this party. Everybody knows that it is being dominated by the other ethnic groups, basically the northern people, the Muslims, the EWES, the GUANS. Most of them are also NDC, and it is an open secret. It is an open secret to all of us here in Ghana. So, in our attempt to create the appearance of a political unity, dominant groups to create an appearance of political dominant groups began to ban or make unconstitutional other political parties. As a result, secessionist movement, one-party states, and military government became the norm. 40 sub-Saharan countries in Africa. If you come to Africa, in about 40 countries, only 5 out of these 40 countries allow opposition parties to take power. Most of them are one-party states or are being ruled by the military. So I think you can understand, because if people think they are marginalized, if minority people think they are marginalized, they will use any other means to take power. And when they take power, they try to pacify the ethnic group or the tribal lines they belong. They're trying to pacify these tribal lines they belong. Let's take the NPP, for example, here in Ghana. Just yesterday, I heard the Minister of Works and Housing, Honorable Asenso Boache, saying the NPP should pick a candidate from, wow, a candidate from Ashanti region. Fair enough, people of Ashanti region also deserve to be, but in nation building, we don't just pick people because they belong to a particular group of people. We pick people because they have the know-how, they are knowledgeable, they can take care of the people, they can take care of the country. This is what I was expecting, my dear parliamentarian, to tell us Ghanaians, that they are expecting the NPP people. Right now, they have a candidate who is from the northern part of the country by name Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, who is a Muslim and also hails from the northern part of Ghana. So they need a vice presidential candidate who is from Ashanti region, so that they can the vote of the Ashanti region. Do you know why he's saying that? It all stems out from the tribal things we are saying, because they think if the Ashantis are left out from the NPP, the Ashantis are not going to vote for Baumia, who is from the northern part of the country. They're not going to vote for Baumia, who is from the northern part of our country. And it shouldn't be that. If Dr. Baumia is viable to be the president of Ghana, whether he's from the north, the south, whether he's a Muslim, a Christian, we should allow him to rule this country, because the progress of this country is paramount to any other ethnic or tribal people here in this country. I want to give you an example. You know the people we call them Bushmen. They are in South Africa. These people didn't have a name for themselves, and they were living in their communities, villages in South Africa. When the whites came, they called them Bushmen. You know, they called them Bushmen because these people didn't have name, and they wanted to give them name. They didn't give them any name. They called them Bushmen. This is how tribalism is. This is how tribalism is. And we still call up to date, we still call them Bushmen. If you go to the southern part of Africa, we still call these people Bushmen, because they didn't have a name like the Ashanti, like the GUANS, like they didn't have a name like Ever. The British, when they met these people, they classify all of them as Bushmen. And usually these names are I don't think people will call themselves Bushmen. It is being given to you by your oppressors, if you understand what I am saying. So when the British, or when our colonialists left, they left a political system which is more or less like the Western democracy, and they thought ideology and class alliances will counter the will counter the potential harmful effects of tribalism. That is why if you come to Western, Sub-Saharan or West Africa, if you come to West Africa, our foremost government in Ghana, like the CPP, invested so much in education, and the reason was that if they invest in education, it will form a sort of ideology for the whole country, and it also creates a class alliances, because people will come together, go to the same school, so that they will accept each other, because we went to schools together, so we are supposed to be together as one people. So education, the reason why education was given to us, this education will groom all of us to become a better Ghanaians, not a better Akan or a better Ewe or a better. But one factor that also hindered this ideology and class alliances is the education itself, because the sort of education we had was based also on majority and minority heritages. So if you come to Ghana, most of our culture is about the majority people, the Akans, the GANS, because the GANS are situated in the capital city. They also have their story in our history books. The FANTIs, because most of the professors were also FANTIs, they also have our heritages in our history book. What about the minorities? What about the people of Sampa? What about the people of Oti region? What about the people of the northwest regions? You see, so you read more about Ghana and you see more of the Akans, you see more of the Ashantis, you see more of the people of the GANS, but you hear less of the EWES, you hear less of the DAGOMBAS, you hear less of the NANUMBA, SISSALA, you hear less of them because we try to project the majority tribal groups or the majority ethnic lines. I hope you understand what I'm saying and where I'm coming from. And if you promote the majority, definitely we will grow up thinking that these people are more superior than us. And we've created the system, and this is a system which is right now, this is a system being conducted in Ethiopia. As earlier I said, the Amara people, who are 50% of the people of Ethiopia, control basically the political, education, the banking, the law, everything. Even it is their language. It is the Amharic language which is being used to educate people of Ethiopian descent. It is the Amharic language which is used in their court of law. It is the Amharic language which is used basically in most of their businesses. But the majority of the people are the Oromo people, who are over 60% of the people of Ethiopia. So why is this happening? Why is this minority people trying to use their culture, their language, their everything to impose it on the majority of the people? But if you come to West Africa, the majority of the people are rather imposing their culture, their values, their ideologies on the other ethnic people or the other tribal lineages. This is a very controversial topic, and basically I'll have to go back to the streets and talk to the people so that you hear how the Ghanaian thinks about tribalism. But this is just a warm-up to our street vibes. You go to the streets and basically talk to the people what sentiments they have about people of other tribes. So our government thought using education can make us all come together and promote the Ghanaian agenda, but rather the social media came, I think, more than a decade ago, and have social media have tried as much as possible to mirror the society to all of us. No wonder people who are tribalistic in nature will set cameras on them and insult people from other tribes, because it is still inherent in us. I know people who hate deep within their heart. They hate people from other tribes. I know they hate people from other tribes. I know Ashantis who hate people of Ibe or Ewe, who hate people from, and I know Northerners who also hate Ashantis. I know Northerners who think Ashanti, and they even have names for each other. An Ashanti man will say Ntafo. No, what is the meaning of Ntafo? As if the Ntafo is a derogatory word. And if you go to the north, they also have a language for the people of the Akans and the Ashantis especially. And even within the Akans, there is this battle of supremacy between the Akans, between the Asantes. We have the Dormaas, we have the Bonos, and it has been a banter here and forth. You remember when the Asante wanted to go to Brekum because the Asantes consider Brekum to be part of the Asante kingdom. And there was this banter all over the place that the Bunu people didn't want Brekum to be part, but it is history. And there is nothing, or if what we are all trying to teach out, what we are all trying to say is, look, tribal issues are a thing of the past. Tribalism remarks are things of the past. They were whisked away over 300 years ago. And if you are a Ghanaian and you are still living in this dark ages, using tribal sentiments, throwing tantrums to other people, then you are not civilized enough to be called a Ghanaian. You are not civilized enough to be called a Ghanaian. Let me tell you something. The importance of domination of most African states by one or two groups only becomes obvious as one examines the impact of the state or district divisions. Because if you because the state or district divisions that reflect cultural distinction, because this Ghana is grouped under let's say districts, capitals, regions, districts. Let's say the district is the smaller division of grouping of the groupings. And you know, all government money are attributed to those entities, the state or the district, and all revenues are also collected from these states and districts. So definitely we will know which district is giving the government more money and which district is not giving the government enough money. We will also know which district the government is investing more of the nation resources in, and which district the government is investing less. So this creates some sort of apathy, some sort of alienation in the same country we are all living. People feel left out in the country because they think this political party uses all our resources to improve these people. And we call it the per capita expenditures. And it comes out along with the receipt. So it is clear for all of us to see per capita expenditures and receipts by district are the district can develop a clear understanding of the relative power held by each group. Looking more closely at which district receive development projects, credit, roads, communication network, public health facilities, schools, can make you clearly see the picture. So people of Volta region usually think they are being left out, usually when the MPP are in power. And the people of Ashanti region also usually feel left out when the NDC are in power. But is that always the case? Is that always the case? I was born here in Ashanti region, and still I am in Kumasi. You see, most of our roads, hospitals, most of the infrastructures here in Ghana were built by the NDC government, which we, the Asantis and the Akans, most of us think that NDC party is anti-Akan. But they rather invested the nation resources in Ashanti region, in Eastern region, and in the Akan-dominated areas. And the reason being that in Africa, administrative units are cultural specific. Administrative units are usually cultural specific as political parties. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So there are discrepancies will occur. Discrepancies will ultimately occur. And these discrepancies are often taught as differential development. Differential development. But you know, it is simpler than that. I think they all result from the institutional discrimination. And if you talk about institutional discrimination, it is happening all over the place. That is why people from the hinterlands, from all parts of the country, are now trying to stay in the urban areas of Ghana. Come to Accra. Rural urban migration is very rampant. People are moving from all over the country to Kumasi, to Accra, to TAKORADI, because this is what our colonial masters left us, and we couldn't eradicate. Instead of the African to throw all the resources among all the places here in Ghana, we decided to put all our resources in few places like Accra, Kumasi, TAKORADI, CAPECOAST, KOFORIDUA. So people from these other areas are all trying to also come and enjoy some of these goodies. I'll say goodies. Young school, we are all going to school. But when we go to school, we learn more of the accounts than we learn more of the DAGOMBAS. We learn more of the accounts than we learn of the FS. We learn more of the accounts than we learn of the NANUMBAs. It is called racial prejudice. Education imparts values and ideas. That is why we are speaking English, because we were educated by our colonial masters. Education imparts values and ideas, usually those of the dominant group. So our education system didn't come to eradicate tribalism. It came to enforce tribalism. Our education system be set up by our colonial masters are reinforcing feelings of superiority or inferiority depending on the relationship of one group to the central government. And it is true. Our education system have alienated many people from their own cultures and at the same time created unrealistic expectations of the states. Let's take Kenya for example. Kenya is teeming with educated people who cannot find jobs in Kenya, but who no longer know how or are willing to farm. Then Ghana, it's the same story here in Ghana. We've educated millions of graduates, and we cannot find jobs in our urban areas. And we don't also know how to farm, and we are not willing to farm because we weren't taught to engage in farming. When our colonial masters left, new African states made people dissatisfied with their own cultures, while at the same time growing bureaucracies, filled capital cities, and attracted large amount of consumer goods. So it is like this analogy. If you put a sugar at one particular place, you will see ants all over the place coming from different places, come to take a share of that sugar. That is how human beings are. So if you decide to make Accra a nice place, people will come from Tamale, people will come from people will come from Offenso to come and stay in Accra. If you decide to build Kumasi and make it the capital city of Ashanti region, people will move from their villages and come to Kumasi so that they can also enjoy the goodies in Kumasi. And for the last 25 years, urbanization has increased so much so that the resources especially in these urban areas are being fought by the people. And this is where also it makes tribalism more rampant, because the resources are small at these localities or at these places. The dominant people or people who think they are from that place try to use bureaucracy or try to use their power to curtail other people from also enjoying these goodies. So we talk about refugees. Let me tell you, Africa have produced half the population of the world refugees. Africa, we have produced half the population of the world refugees, because our own people, because of limited resources, we will fight and some will go and stay at a different location as refugees. And it's happening all over Africa, not only here in Ghana. We were trying to, the new African states or the new African government were trying to, they were trying to bring all of us together, but the harm have already been caused by the colonial masters. And in trying to do that, they thought through education people will come together. No. The education, as I said earlier, also comes with its own ideologies and values. So if we all go to school to learn the values of these dominant groupings, if you go to school to study the values and cultures and ideologies of the Ashantis, why wouldn't the Ashantis feel superior to people of other places? So I think it is up to us, the youth of this country, to come together under one umbrella, under humanism. It is only humanism that can eradicate tribalism. I told this story because of this topic, because of humanism. It is only humanism that can eradicate tribalism, because humanism is trying as much as possible to eradicate racism. I know people who used to be racist, but when they became humanists, they are the loveliest of all people. So, my dear brothers and sisters, it is ignorance. That is why we are trying to fight among ourselves. It is ignorance. And education is just reading and writing. It is education. But education goes beyond that. So if we want to read and write, we must read wide. If you want to read wide. Other than that, you will be reading only one part of the story. Today I will end my show here, and I want you to subscribe to Humanist TV Africa on all our social media platforms. We are on YouTube, on Facebook. You can watch most of our videos here on Facebook. And thank you to the team. Thank you everyone. Subscribe to Humanist TV Africa on all our social media platforms. Thank you very much, and see you once again.
Tuungane sote na tushereke pamoja ushindi kwa ukombozi wetu. Tujitoe wenyewe, tusimame pamoja.